Mary Brown continues to put out into the world that Sister Wives is coming to an end. Recently, on her Friday night with friends, she mentioned that she's looking for new reality TV possibilities. Now, I don't know how serious she is, but she said she wants to be the Golden Widow. And quite honestly, I don't know that anyone would want to tune in to watch Mary be the Golden Bachelorette. Typically speaking, the crowd has to like someone, right? Like, they have to really be able to fall in love with Mary. And I don't know that she would fit that story. I don't like this idea that you have to be likable, but I just don't see that she would provide enough intrigue or drama or a willingness to provide intrigue or drama. But on a quest for her to get another reality television chance, she and her friend Jen have started a speed dating company where they're hosting speed dating events. So this is like the 17th business now that she has with her friend Jen. On top of converting her into an event space and remodeling it, on top of her worthy up opportunity where she charges people like $3,000 to get bad help, and then on top of like selling lulau. So Mary continues to put out into the world that she doesn't really want to deal with talking about sister wives anymore. She's going on with her life. She's not a sister wife. I mean, she has said that she has nothing to do with polygamy anymore. And so therefore, she doesn't identify as a sister wife. So if you don't identify as a sister wife, I don't know. It kind of feels like maybe the show should stop. Sister Wives, Sister Wives over the past season also lost a large amount of their viewers, and their end of the season in 2026, roughly 1 million people tuned in per episode. That's no small change, but for reference, when Christine first left Kody, it pulled in regularly 3 to 4 million viewers, and the final week of season 20 fell by as much as 23% week over week. The key live group of 1840-18 to 49 fell 2.11, a fraction of what the show commanded during the mid-series premiere prime mid-series prime. And the tell-alls did really bad. And they're having problems right now with the season and why the ratings are going so badly because fans are bored with the old news because the show is so far behind, and they also have learned that the show is fake and that now that most of the women have come out like Christine in her book, explaining how the storylines were built and sharing that they really don't tell the truth, that they get in trouble. They used to get in trouble if they told the truth. And then just a couple weeks ago, Mary coming out and basically saying that she didn't want to be a sister wife. She had no choice but for Kody to marry other women, and she couldn't say no to him, and she didn't agree to the women coming in. That caused a lot of reaction in my comments because people were like, oh, I guess everyone's bored, I guess they've lied about everything. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yep. They have. The main reason people tuned in for the show was the, rubbernecking and the view you get into the world of someone that lives in the polygamous life. And sadly, that's gone. And so, luckily for the women because they're no longer with Kody, but that's gone. And Kody's now in a monogamous marriage with Robin. And the idea of it doesn't exist. They don't ever see each other. When they do, it's very awkward. And in general, the storylines that they have that connect are limited at this point. So fans don't get the harmony that they once did. It's no longer one big family. It's full 4 different plot lines. And then within those 4 different plot lines, there's subplots that may or may not align. And the women are going further and further away from each other. The other problem is that everyone hates Kody and Robin, and most people don't want to tune in for Kody and Robin because they find them annoying. They don't want to watch them get a new arc of now we're a happy monogamous couple, and they don't want to watch Kody's violent and creepy behavior towards his wives and his children. They don't want to watch him try to repair his image and launder it through his new monogamous relationship with Robin. So, the fatigue of the show has waned, and people are bored. And sometimes when a show gets to this point, it would be called jumping the shark because it's lost the idea of what it was about. And yet, none of them want to leave because they're all totally dependent on the income that they make from the show because none of them have other jobs. Which is why Janelle is trying to push her coaching. It's why Christine has gotten into the Airbnbs and the renter market and why she's still selling Plexus or whatever it is. And now she's going into cruising because they're all realizing that the show is about to end and they need to figure out what they're going to do for their retirements because some of them are hitting retirement age. I don't know what their plans are actually for retirement or not, but It's gotten to a point where there's so many signs that they don't want to do this anymore, and yet they keep doing it, right? And so Warner Brothers and Discovery are also at this crossroads because they are actually splitting apart. They're losing money, and the ratings on cable networks are declining, and the ad income is declining. And yet shows like Sister Wives are still cheaper to make than a normal sitcom or other scripted television because they don't have to pay the talent as much. And so as long as they want to do it, and there's enough audience where it costs less than what it costs less to make than the gains that are made. So as long as they're making money, they have no reason whatsoever to cancel it. And none of them have backup plans, really. David hinted to in this season that Christine spends a lot of money very quickly, and she needs to start thinking about what happens next when they don't have the same kind of liquidity and have to live off of his income or their savings and what that will look like, right? And now you've got Mary's like, I'm going to go on another reality show because she needs money. And now Janelle's all, I'm going to sell how I'm going to sell teaching because I need money. And instead of Robin and Kody doing anything, they just took out a second mortgage on their house and apparently are just going to live off the cash that they got out of the house that they just bought last year. And they have a new $750,000 second mortgage. None of them have prepared for this moment. And so that's where we're at today. Because Mykelti mentioned on a recent podcast that none of them really have a what's next strategy. And so they're all stuck on the show, which begs the question, are you really doing the show because you want to share your life? Or are you doing the show because you need the money? And if you have nothing to share and none of your kids want to be on the show and none of you are actually a family, what's the point of doing the show other than to make money? Which then begs the questions to people who I don't know who the fans are anymore. People think that I'm a fan. I am not. I've never been a fan of this show. And so I'm not the podcaster that you'll get the family on because I'm not there to, buy into the lies of it all. I truly think everything would be better if the show was off the air because then they could all move on and I think that they could all become a little bit more honest. I still think there needs to be some level of accountability for Kody and for Robin and honestly for all of them. As much as I sympathize with women that are in polygamy, I believe that this show has perpetuated a con on the American public. And I think that it's been detrimental to feminism, massively detrimental to feminism, by supporting a show where women become the target of a narcissist, and then they're all fighting for his attention. And so we're tuning in to watch them fight instead of wanting to strengthen them. And then we're arguing about who was the worst mom, who did what to who. All this drama that happens in the family when the truth is the problem should have been, and the focus should have always been on Kody. That's just my view. So Janelle just bought her house and she just moved in. Her house is done. She's got her house done in North Carolina. Christine says that she's doing cruise lines. She's also going to do promotions for her book. And Mary is going to be writing a book. And Kody and Robin are all but silent on social media and all outside a Cameo, where you can buy a message from Kody for like $150, and they are apparently just living on their money from their home at the present time. I will be interested to see how the split from Warner Brothers and Discovery impacts the shows. Because I do think that right now, the financial crunch Warner Brothers and Discovery are facing could also be impacting how much is being filmed. When and if the next season will air, what will air, and what it'll look like. Because honestly, the tell-all really did feel like it was the end of the season and the end of the series. So that's today's report. Tell me what your ideas are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, bestie.